but do dabble in playing sometimes. But we are gonna, less about us and more about these guys. These are the stars of the show. It's gonna be Cydonia versus Handsomeguy, and really, for me at least, sort of two very different players. Handsomeguy, very, storied history and his sheer ability to continually win championships, and Cydonia, a bit of the underdog, lesser known, but since he did win the championship, been continuing to practice, work hard, do a lot of streaming as well.
Yeah, straight into the game as well. Looks like we're going to see a Hunter mirror here from these two players. Right off the bat, these are slightly different lists coming up, but as you see, Cydonia is playing the Tundra Rhino in his list, which is an interesting tech choice. A little bit of extra value that he can get out of some of his Death Rattle minions by charging them out with a Tundra Rhino. Very explosive card when it hits, but a potentially dead card when it misses. So high-risk tech inclusion from him, but Handsomeguy generally going with the more solid stuff. Just using a Stranglethorn Tiger, which is never mind-blowingly good, but it's just always a solid minion that you can play in that 5-drop slot.
Yeah, with the stealth, almost always gets at least some form of work done. Right. It says a 5/5 stealth, very difficult to remove before it can attack, so really good body on it there. But Cydonia got a pretty good opening hand, does have the Secret Keeper for turn 1, and as soon as that's played, it's literally just a threat, right? You cannot leave that minion alive in case the follow-up is secrets or, into a Huntress, into like 3 secrets, for example, that's, happens, on those good days on ladder.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, because you do see the Secret Keeper that we've talked about. Both these players are playing the secret-heavy list that's come out recently, but the more mid-range version, not the all-out face variant that we'll see some players playing a bit later on, but just a couple of tech choices different. Both players choosing to omit Call of the Wild from their list, but the Tundra Rhino, the 5-drop slot is the big difference between the two, but Cydonia definitely off to the more aggressive start here with the Secret Keeper.
Yeah, and also for Handsomeguy, it's kind of frustrating because this freezing trap, in a roundabout way, would have lined up okay versus the Secret Keeper because it would have buffed it, but then bounced it back, so it's fine. But he can't do that now that the grandmother's down, so he has had to actually just quick shot as well and just try and slow this game down as much as possible, because as we look at the hands again, Cydonia, as you said, more aggressive. But Handsomeguy, much more mid-range, especially now that he's going that Tiger. He's got the middle to back end of the game sorted. Yeah,
I mean, he's definitely behind the play, and it's rough because this is almost a mirror match, right? So some games you'll be happy to slow down the pace, take care of their early game stuff. You can be dominant in the late game, but you're just facing a mirror. Your opponent is just as likely to have those big power cards later on as you are, and the Huffer roll from Cydonia has ramped up the pressure so much, and unless he just wants to straight up kill command that, there is a good chance that Huffer connects twice. And you've played a lot of Hunter. You must have played a lot of Hunter mirrors. In my experience, if Huffer connects twice in the Hunter mirror, you are winning that game.
You are feeling pretty good. Huffer has no time for the slow game. Yeah. He's all about the smart life, and I appreciate that to no end. I think there might actually be an option here for Handsomeguy to just coin out Barnes, and to be honest, just hope for potentially, high main, some high impact, because the Huffer, if you just kill command Huffer, then, well, he's just more than likely going to develop another minion, and you're kind of in the same place you are next turn.
Right. I mean, I kind of like the kill command a little bit. I mean, I think if you coin out Barnes, even if you get a high main, does Cydonia care? He just jams 5 more damage to face. Is the high main just too slow at that point, is my question.
Yeah, I think the ability for Barnes to then potentially trade with the Huffer, then you can finally get this freezing trap to work, because at the moment that grandmother is just causing issues with the freezing trap. It's just unplayable because he'll just bounce the 1/1 and be like, sure. But Handsomeguy agrees with you. 1-0 to you, Sol. He is going to go for the kill command. We are going to keep track throughout all of opening week.
Oh god.
And I'm probably going to lose.
Yeah, I was going to say I like my chances. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Cydonia's hand finally run a little bit dry. Did have the early pressure, but yeah, I do like this kill command play because I don't think he can afford to take Huffer to the face twice. It's not, when that happens for the Hunter that hits it, it's such a high percentage win rate that honestly, like board state, nothing else really matters at that point. You're so far ahead in the pressure game that you can just afford to press hero power every turn at that point, and your opponent's just obligated to trade into every single minion that you play, so.
Yeah, well that's it, isn't it? With the Hunter mirror, because you can both do 2 damage a turn if you want, then if you get ahead early and then you just pile the pressure on while they're trying to, sort of push it back, it's just not going to be enough and you'll run out of juice. But Cydonia has gone for the tracking, not too much of a surprise, as he just didn't really have too many options this turn. Just playing secrets might not have the impact he wants. does pick the second kill command, and
but I was going to say,
like it.
Imagine how much better a tracking that would have been if the Huffer got to connect again, though, right? Like, double kill command in hand now, that would just be game over. And I love this from Cydonia, just developing the snipe here. There's a good chance that Barnes comes down, empty board Houndmaster, because he's seen Handsomeguy has a clunky, slow hand. So Houndmaster is definitely a card that he can put him on. So Handsomeguy picking up the Secret Keeper here is actually a huge draw for him to coin a caster that you'll see a little bit later on. But now following up with the Cloaked Huntress, and Handsomeguy is now getting a grip on this game just in time, I would say.
Yeah, even one turn of pressure late, he has 10 damage in hand, Cydonia. It's so much damage if the beast sticks. So I really like the freezing trap here, and now we can start to build into the Stranglethorn Tiger, Barnes potentially if he needs it, and also with the Huntress down, any secrets he draws are just free, so he can just do it anyway.
Yeah, so it's a very good point. I mean, Cydonia recognizes that he's not quite there yet in terms of pure damage. He could have started getting really aggressive there and just, gone for Freezing Trap Kill Command, for example, to start pushing damage, but knows that he's not quite there. He needs to get another minion to connect at some point, so chooses to go for the most powerful board play. And here you see the strength of that Stranglethorn Tiger. It's going to be such a great investment for him here. If Highmane was to come down, for example, he'd have such a good ability to just trade into it immediately, take care of the first half of the body, start cleaning up the board from there.
Yeah, really good position for Handsomeguy now as the sort of tables feel like they've turned a little bit, where Cydonia does have double kill command, and you can never forget that. That, excuse me, that simply is a lot of damage, but look at the minions he has. Grandmother at 4 mana, not great. Secret Keeper as well is going to help versus this snipe, and now he knows what the secret is, so he can clear it off. Both players sacrificing Secret Keepers to snipe this game, so there's no real love there. And here we go, Cydonia. Battle plan kind of flipped on its head now that Handsomeguy seems to build a board.
Still Cydonia choosing to address the board here. So let's have a quick count. So he's at 20. If he'd have sent the kill command face, then he would have been at 15 this turn. He has another 7 with a kill command and a hero power, which takes him down to 8. Which means if he doesn't draw damage, he needs 4 turns of hero powers on top of that, which, sure, probably a bit ambitious. So I agree with the line to commit to the board here. But committing to the board feels like a losing battle as well, based on the amount of value that we see in the opponent's hand.
Yeah, and I would really like to see Handsomeguy just pass now. There's no need to attack when you've got this much power. And if it's Freezing Trap, he has Houndmaster to proc it if he really wants. Or, more than likely, Cat Trick will go off. There's a lot of spells that Hunter plays, so you have 2 minions. More than likely, at least one survives to proc the Freezing Trap.
Yep, that's a very good point, and if it is Freezing Trap, that's kind of just best case scenario for Handsomeguy, honestly, because he's just left this Tiger stealth, so it can't be dealt with. So unless the Houndmaster gets taken care of, he forces the trade on the board, basically, and if the 4/3 doesn't die, he can just bounce it, buff it back up to Stranglethorn Tiger, 9 damage straight to the face. Like, Freezing Trap is such a good position for him, but now suddenly Cydonia, after that aggressive start, he was just missing one big pickup in the mid-game. He just, if he'd have had a Stranglethorn Tiger just to put some damage, if he'd have drawn a Highmane, something along those lines, this would be a very different story, because suddenly those kill commands could just be pointed where they want to be pointed, which is directly at your opponent's face. This game would have a very different texture, but Handsomeguy is just right on the point of recovery now. The bow changes the clock significantly, though. That extra bow damage is going to be huge.
Ooh. Sorry, the Ragnaros draw looks great because of the coin.
Yes.
You can go straight into it, but there are those pesky 1/1s to deal with, and if it was me, the Rag is always hitting the 1/1. There's not too much of an argument to not play Rag, just to get it on the board, but frustrating that you can't almost guarantee the catch-up on damage that Handsomeguy kind of needs to do at this point.
There's also the world that Handsomeguy has to consider, which is Cat Trick, which I don't think he's considered that yet. He hasn't tested for it at this point. So if he was to coin Ragnaros, he gives his opponent potentially 4 more power on the board, especially if Rag then snipes a 1/1, which means suddenly his 7/7 taunt is vulnerable, the bow can get through, suddenly the clock on his life total is very close again. So all things considered, even though this is a slow play from Handsomeguy compared to what he could have done, based on the information that he doesn't know, it's probably the right play.
Yeah, and he still can't really attack with that Stranglethorn Tiger. So
minions with stealth cannot taunt, Raven, as we have all been told at some point by the glorious Innkeeper himself.
Many times. But yeah, it's kind of awkward because you would really like that taunt to be live right about now.
That Stranglethorn Tiger is potentially his key to victory, but he needs to activate the taunt. And to activate the taunt, he needs to attack. And to attack, he has to play into Freezing Trap, which by his information, is still the secret that's in play. So it's just catch-22 at this point. He really needs that huge taunt, but he has no way to activate it right now. And Cydonia just has the ability to push through damage. Second kill command in hand already. He might just get there.
Yeah, he's extremely close, and the benefit for Handsomeguy here is Barnes did kick out a Grandmother, which means that's a very sticky minion that more than likely you're going to be able to use to bounce the freeze in next turn.
Right.
So then the Tiger is live, but as you said, is that just a turn too late? We're getting to the point where just hero power is going to end the game very shortly.
Yeah, I calculated the hero power clock a little while ago. It's a key strategy more for face hunter than mid-range hunter, but it's definitely a thing that you have to consider when playing the mid-range deck still, is how much damage do I have in my hand? Subtract that from my opponent's life total. How many times do I have to press the hero power to win this game? If that number comes out to you as a realistic clock, then just start going face with everything you have. And Cydonia has decided that is the plan. Handsomeguy gets the news that he did play around Freezing Trap correctly, and now he has to put a very fast clock on his opponent. He can do it. He has Rag, and he has a huge taunt in play, which can give him the turns that he needs. But he has to find a way to get this game done in 2 turns.
He has to find a way to make Ragnaros smog, because the frustration for him now is that the minions on the board kind of cause an issue of if Rag hits a 1-1, then you're in huge trouble. And I don't think there's actually a better way around this turn, unless he sets up for Rag next turn and plays the minions now with the Wolf and the Grandmother.
Well, here's my question. I don't think it's necessarily a Rag turn. If you kind of commit that your 7/7 will wall out this board, you can play Infested Wolf hero power, and that just directly sets up lethal without needing anything else. You then have the damage on board plus the hero power again to connect face, which says to your opponent, if you don't have an answer, then I just win the game next turn. I think that's the line we're going to see here. The hero power seems a lot better to me than the Grandmother. I think Handsomeguy just continues to impress me every time I see him play. I think this is definitely the way to find the clock.
Yeah, he knows the exact way he needs to, what he needs to do to win this game, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Cydonia with that kill command, and then the quick shot off the top is going to end the game.
Buddy. Hold this quick shot real quick. Game 1 is going to Cydonia. Cat in the Hat, no impact on that game, but still stellar play